Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Greg Gilligan. I'm the Vice President of Operations at RVA757 Connects. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in to this latest RVA757 Connects virtual innovation webinar. Today, we got a very interesting and exciting topic to talk to you about so you can learn a little bit more about a national nonprofit which has its mission to close the digital divide by providing tech access to the underserved communities. PC for People has located one of its centers in Virginia to serve the Richmond area all the way down to Hampton Roads. So we'll learn a little bit more about that. Let me just let you give you an idea of what we're going to do today. We'll get a hear from our sponsor Meta. Then I'll give you an update on what's happening with RVA757 Connects. Then we'll dive into today's topic about PCs for People with the CEO, Casey Sorensen. We'll leave some room for Q&As, and I'll let you know what's happening next. This is a reminder, we do record all of our webinars, and the recordings will be available on our website later this afternoon. You can share it with others as well. And if you have any questions for the speakers, please use the chat function in the Zoom features and send them to me, and I'll be able to ask those questions. RVA757 Connects is a nonprofit organization, so we rely on donations, and here are our corporate sponsors for RVA757 Connects. One of those is corporate sponsors is Meta, which is the parent company of social media sites including Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Threads. Meta also operates a large-scale data centers, including one in eastern Henrico County. Here today to tell us more about Meta is Kelly McCall. She's the regional manager of community development for Meta. Before she joined Meta a couple of years ago, she served as senior vice president for Chamber RVA, and before that, she worked at the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. So, Kelly, I will turn it over to you, and you can tell us more about Meta, but also more particularly its financial support of PCs for People.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. It's so good to see you and see so many friends on the call. I'm Kelly McCall. I'm the Community Development Technical Lead Manager at Meta, and I'm just thrilled to join for today's webinar with our friends at PCs for People and our friends at RVA 757 Connects. I'd want to just start by saying how proud Meta is to support the incredible work that PCs for People is doing here in Virginia. Truly, their mission to provide affordable computers and internet access, along with digital skills trainings, which is something we care a lot about at Meta as well, is changing lives. In today's world, being connected isn't a luxury. We know that. It's really a necessity for participating in the economy, in education, and in our communities. At Meta, we believe in the power of technology to bring people closer together, whether it's through Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads, or Quest. Our platforms are really all about building connection and empowering people and building community. Of course, we know that not everyone has equal access to the tools and skills needed to take part in the digital world, and that's why partnerships like this one with PCs for People are so important to us. We are especially excited about the rapid progress that PCs for People has made since expanding to Virginia. Greg and I were talking just before this, and today marks 1 year exactly since PCs for People announced their expansion into the state. Their dedication and speed really resonates with Meta's own cultural value of moving fast. It's inspiring to see how quickly they've been able to make a difference, refurbishing computers, distributing them to people who need them the most, and also offering trainings that help people thrive. Our support, including our $250,000 contribution to help fund the Virginia expansion, is just one part of our ongoing commitment to the communities where we live and work, including right here in Henrico. Since breaking ground here in Henrico, we've provided more than $4.5 million in direct funding to local schools and nonprofit organizations. We are just so honored to add PCs for People to that list and to help bridge the digital divide right here in the region. And just want to wrap up by thanking you all for being here to learn and to support this important work. Together, we're really making a difference and progress toward a more connected future for everyone in Virginia. Greg, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to kick off.
Kelly, well, no, thank you. Thank you not only for your support of RVA 757 Connects over the years, but also, and most particularly, your meta support of PCs for People. And as we talked earlier, it's hard to believe it's only been a year since the announcement was made when Casey was here in Virginia to make that announcement. So that's great. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Let me tell you all a little bit about RVA 757 Connects. We are a nonprofit organization, as I mentioned, whose mission is to improve the economic success and quality of life of everyone that lives in the RVA, which is Richmond region, and 757, which is Hampton Roads. We are a coalition of top leaders representing businesses, higher education organizations, and we are following a national model where nearby localities collaborate on initiatives that advance both regions. We are advancing the mega region from the Richmond area all the way down to Hampton Roads, what we call the I-64 Innovation Corridor. And as you can see here, we're pursuing several different priorities. One is, helping the I-64 Innovation Corridor become a global internet hub, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Widening of Interstate 64 is ongoing right now. That was one of our projects a couple of years ago that we took a lead role in. And we're also advocating for multi-use trails, such as Trail 757 and the trails here in the Richmond region, Fall Line Trail, and then also the Virginia Capitol Trail. You can read more about these initiatives and priorities on our website, RVA757 Connects. And one of our priorities, excuse me, is to encourage and collaborate and showcase innovation. And we're doing that in a couple of ways. One is hosting webinars like this today, and also one that we're hosting a month from now on November the 5th, Wednesday, November 5th. This will be on Startup World Cup competition. And the Startup World Cup competition is a global series of pitch competitions that bring together startup organizations, investors, tech leaders worldwide. What's interesting is that they have these about 100 different regional competitions across the world. And one of those regional competitions was actually in Hampton Roads. And so we'll learn a little bit more about why they chose Hampton Roads and how that really kind of helped showcase what's happening there in Hampton Roads. Another way is showcasing the importance of initiatives and successes in advancing I-64 Innovation Corridor at our annual Convergence Conference. We just talked about happened a year ago. This year, its conference attendees will get some insights on how the I-64 Innovation Corridor is where the world powers, stores, and secures data. At Convergence 2025, the conference will be held on Tuesday, November the 18th at the William and Mary Alumni House in Williamsburg. This is our annual day-long interregional gathering of representatives from the Richmond area and Hampton Roads and elsewhere. It's sponsored not only by RVA 757 Connects, but also Chamber RVA and the Hampton Roads Chamber. Get more details and register by going to our website and click on the Convergence tab. During the sessions, we have three really very key sessions. One is going to be about the evolving energy landscape. Another one will be understanding digital infrastructure in Virginia. And then the third one will be building a cyber-ready mega region. And we couldn't do these kinds of conferences without our support from different various corporate sponsors. And so here they are today. Thank you for our sponsors of Convergence. As you might have heard me talk about before, one of our top priorities is to spearhead efforts to make the I-64 Innovation Corridor a designated global internet hub. The bold plan is to harness a once-in-a-generation opportunity to transform the future of our region. And when you view the two regions together, when you view Richmond area and Hampton Roads together, combined, we have the core digital infrastructure in place needed to become a global internet hub. This 3-foot by 2-foot map explains visually how the I-64 Innovation Corridor becomes a global internet hub. Our mega region, we have the subsea cables that come ashore in Virginia Beach, and more are on their way. We have robust local and intercity terrestrial networks. We have digital network rings. We have internet exchanges, and we have data centers of all types and sizes, and more are also on the way. If you'd like to get an actual copy of this map brochure, please email me and let me know, and we'll send one to you. On the other side of the map explains what what a global internet hub is, why it is important, and the strategies we are using to build one of these interconnected digital hubs. As part of the Global Internet Hub initiative, RVA757 Connects is championing for strong and expanding digital infrastructure ecosystems to enable world-class communications and connectivity. Having modern digital infrastructure ecosystems fuel everything from cloud computing to e-commerce to AI-driven manufacturing. All of this will help grow our overall GDP and, in turn, economic prosperity for all. We gave the Global Internet Hub initiative a soul by recruiting the national nonprofit organization PCs for People. As I mentioned, a year ago they announced that they were coming, locating a center here in Virginia. PCs for People, you'll hear, is the largest and most successful computer refurbisher nonprofit operating in large U.S. markets with a vision to end the digital divide. PCs for People, what they do is they collect these outdated computers at no cost to donating businesses or organizations. They refurbish these old computers and install the latest software and provide renewed desktop systems to both underserved residents and families for free, or late model laptops up to, I think it's $150. So this is a good segue into talking about today's topic. We're going to learn more about PCs for People. And just to give you an idea, since its founding in 1998, and Casey, I'm sure we'll talk about this, this is astonishing when you think about this. PCs for People has distributed nationwide more than 450,000 computers. They've connected more than 100,000 households to the internet, and they've recycled, reused 23 million pounds of equipment. To talk about this today is Casey Sorensen. He's the CEO of PCs for People. He's based out of St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then also Daryl Powell is the Enterprise Partnership Manager for PCs for People here in Virginia. Just as a reminder, before I turn things over to these two gentlemen, if you have any questions, please use the chat function, and I will stop sharing the screen and let Casey take it over. Casey, it's all you.
Thank you so much, Greg. And if there are questions, there'll be plenty of time. I think we have 10 to 15-minute presentation, so ample time for questions. If there are any, please chat them, and we'll have plenty of time to answer them. And you see in my share? All right. So as Greg said, my name is Casey Sorensen. I'm the CEO at PCs for People, and what we do is sustainable digital equity. So I'm here today to talk about our business model and provide an update on our launch in the region. And PCs for People began 18 years ago in Minnesota. We launched with 400 computers, and I thought at the time that we'd be set, but those 400 computers were gone in 2 weeks, and we quickly found that we had a 1,200 family waiting list. Demand had overrun our supply, and I realized that we needed to figure out how to create a sustainable social enterprise to meet this huge community need. And that's what we've spent the last 18 years building. On the top right there, the Federal Reserve has been quoted to say that digital inclusion is economic inclusion. And as Greg said, we've now distributed over 450,000 computers to residents in all 50 states. And when we distribute a computer, we collect a little bit of data. And through that we know that 58% of the people that come to our program are unemployed. And that's a staggering number that shows the importance of digital skills. My oversimplification of things needed in our modern society is food, shelter, computer. And thanks to local leaders, George Birdsong and Tom Chamberlain, I see you on the call here. I now be careful to say food, shelter, health, computer. They all go together to make a productive member of our society. As you peel back the layers of digital inclusion, it's easy to see why there's a need. Broadband is absolutely essential for education, communication, economies, healthcare, and the list goes on. Digital equity touches every part of our lives. We've found that a family sees a 15% increase in income in the first year after receiving our services. So for every 5,000 families we connect, that's an $8.5 million increase in combined income for those who need it most. And that's the impact we're looking to work on bringing to the region. Now going on 2 years ago, John Martin and the Richmond and Hampton Roads Chamber went on an inner city visit to Kansas City, and one of the tracks was a tour of the PCs for People warehouse, which is pictured here. John, Brian Anderson, Bernard Robinson reached out to me after the tour and said, we need PCs for People in our mega region. I listened to John's passionate pitch that this is a mega region. The region works together to get big projects done, and the region can support and needs the PCs for People model. It was and is a very compelling pitch. The region is a global internet hub with 70% of global internet traffic passing through Virginia Beach. That's a massive positive economic impact for the region, but at the same time, 120,000 homes in the mega region lack a home computer or internet connection. The local leaders were determined to do something about that and wanted a solution that could scale to meet this large need across the region. So first, a huge thanks to the support we have received, Kelly and Meta, Birdsong Peanuts, Birdsong Health Literacy, Cameron Foundation, Mary Morton Parsons Foundation, Dragonfly. We cannot begin to impact the region without your support, so thank you. Our business model is very resource intensive, and the first thing that we need is a secure facility. So late last year, we went on a real estate search and found a former Save-A-Lot store in Hampton, Virginia that was perfect. Like any good real estate purchase, especially in our price range, it needed significant work. A new roof, all new HVAC, completely new interior, new bathrooms, and the list goes on. And in the bottom right there, that was my work desk each time I visited the region to create new partnerships and check in on construction. We spent the last 10 months completing that redesign and renovation. And this is now our 32,000 square foot home for the future and the impact of the region. And it's a great fit for our long-term home. It provides the retail presence we need to connect to the community, an open warehouse space to build out refurbishment, and a central location to serve the region's IT recycling needs. And IT recycling is where our program starts. It's the first and most critical step. As Greg said, nationally, we're a certified recycler, distributed over 450,000 computers, and those come from 7,000 companies where we deliver our secure end-of-life recycling service. That's from nonprofits and government entities to Fortune 500s and small businesses. We deliver a valuable free service certified for data sanitization and for responsible recycling. And I'm excited to say that that service is up and running locally. Pictured is Tony. He's our driver, extracting hard drives from older laptops inside our facility. He's also the friendly face locally that will show up at your office if you schedule a recycling pickup. On the left is our box truck, where again, Tony will drive that. Come to your dock, pick up your tech, or if it's in a 4th floor storage closet, we're happy to remove it and provide white glove service. We schedule 3 to 5 pickups per day and have openings. So Daryl, who's on this call, feel free to reach out to him if you have IT recycling needs. With this service, we don't just take good computers, we take everything. We're a one-stop IT recycler, but this allows for generation of some commodity revenue and sale of items like servers that don't go into homes. The cords the gentleman is holding might look like a stressful headache, but they have value that can help fund our model. Nationally, we now process over 6 million pounds of e-waste each year. This is great for the environment, but it's also a workforce development opportunity. Locally, as weight ramps up, we've had discussions with Versability Resources and plan on adding that workforce development component to our local model. Inside our warehouses, we set up a computer factory where we refurbish items like desktops, laptops, tablets, and phones. Computers are returned to like-new condition, getting a new copy of Windows 11, and then they're redistributed at a fraction of a cost you can find elsewhere. Pictured is Brian, our local computer tech, at his desktop workbench. He's securely sanitizing the data on each device, installing that new copy of Windows, and preparing inventory for our local retail launch. And that's the core of our program, distribution of computers to the community. We distribute through 4 channels: retail, bulk partners, events, and online. This retail is being built out right now in the facility, and it's a non-traditional setup, like shown in the pic, one-on-one, almost like a social worker, where we guide recipients to the technology they need. First step is proof of eligibility, which is 200% of the federal poverty level. Once proof is shown, someone's eligible for our services, which include computers, internet, repairs, and training. Still today, 60% of the people coming to our program have never owned a computer before. And cost is the primary factor why. So our program is designed to be retail at a price point people can afford. In store, computers start at free, as Greg said, and go up to $150. We found if you can remove that cost barrier and gain local trust, people of all ages and demographics will adopt technology. Local retail is scheduled to launch by November 1st of this year. Beyond retail, we host and supply events. We ship computers to housing authorities, schools, nonprofits, and libraries across the country. If any local groups are interested in partnering with us on bulk computer distribution, let us know, as again, Brian is working on building that supply for large-scale impact. A home computer doesn't add a lot of value without internet, and internet doesn't add a lot of value without a device. In our locations, we partner with ISPs like Cox to distribute computers to low-income customers. We can also match our computers with our unlimited mobile internet, which is $15 a month. And in some markets, we do fiber to multi-dwelling units and rural and urban 5G projects. We're primarily providing a tool to families that have never owned it before, so support and training are extremely important. We offer help desk service effectively for over 300,000 active computers across the US. And on our busiest day in our call center, we receive 1,800 phone calls. We offer support in English, Spanish, Somali, and Hmong. Our Hampton VA facility also has a classroom. So next after retail, we'll be launching digital literacy training opportunities. So we're thrilled to be in the region, active, picking up computers, refurbishing them, preparing for our retail launch, and I'm happy to take any questions.
That was there. Great. Thank you, Casey. That was very fascinating and interesting. So, well, if anybody has questions, please use the chat function. But I do have some questions for you, Casey. What if someone here, either in Richmond or in Chesapeake, Virginia, or Virginia Beach, wherever, if they need a computer, where do they start? How do they do it? Do they call you directly? Do they call the center? Or how do they go about this? How do they qualify? How do they even know if they qualify?
Our website is the first great resource, so pcsforpeople.org. When that retail I mentioned is open on November 1st, anyone who is below the 200% federal poverty level will be able to walk into retail and take home a free computer if they choose, or up to $150 computer. Most are on some form of government assistance, so free lunch at school, housing assistance, energy assistance, and they'll bring in their picture ID and proof of that assistance to our retail location and be able to take a computer again home with them that day. If someone wants and is able to do e-commerce, we do have computers on our website at all times. So someone will be able to go to pcsforpeople.org, shop online, upload that proof of eligibility, and get a laptop shipped to their home.
So have any Virginians received any computers so far?
Thousands, actually. So
Wow.
I mentioned the partnership with Cox, and and this is even before last year, but has continued since that. We've actually distributed 7,000 computers to low-income homes in Virginia over the last 6 years, and many of those in 2023 and in 2024. So towards the end of the pandemic, created an extremely impactful partnership with Cox, where every low-income customer who signed up for Cox's low-cost internet was able to get a computer through PCs for People. So again, almost 7,000 homes have been impacted by PCs for People computers across the state.
So what's interesting, Casey, I've always had a computer. Many of us on the call have always had a computer, but there are a lot of people who don't have computers. And I was fascinated. I had to go to the public library sadly to say, it was my first visit to the computer part of the public library because I needed to look up something. And there was a line of people, and because they don't have computers, they go to the library for computers. So, do you have a favorite success story? That someone's gotten one of these computers.
From years ago, I do related to the library, and the library is a fantastic resource, but as you said, can be demand on the resources that the libraries have. And so a single father came in with his laptop and said, I want you to wipe this laptop clean. I want to give it to my daughter and set it up brand new for her because I was able to get a job and now I have a brand new laptop through my job. And he said, this laptop transformed my life. And I said, well, we gave you a tool. How did this tool transform your life? He said, I went to the library and had a 1 hour a 1 hour time limit on the computer. So each day I applied for 1 or 2 jobs. But when I got a computer from you, I applied for 20 jobs every single day. And within 3 weeks, I had a job as an adjunct professor at the local community college. And he said, I had been unemployed for 2 years and just couldn't find a job. But with this tool, with this resource you provided me, within 3 weeks, I had a job as an adjunct professor. And now my daughter will have her first ever laptop. And it's stories like that where we try to lift an entire family out of poverty, and technology has the power to do that.
Yeah, I think we forget sometimes the people who don't have computers, and you talk about applying for a job. If you don't have a computer or you don't have one of these things, it's hard to hard to do it and stuff. So definitely. So Casey, tell me uh, what what are the biggest challenges in expanding pieces for people here into a new community? I know you've learned a lot over the years and stuff, and the way we kind of helped you locate here is going to be kind of your new model going forward. Kind of explain that to the group, and explain what the challenges are, the biggest challenges.
Uh, One unique thing about our business model, and I before this worked for Deloitte Consulting, so did a lot of automation, integration, business model stuff. And there's many business models where you order your raw material, you build your widget, and you distribute it. And we're very unique that we can't order our raw material. We have to make connections into the community. So it is very relationship and sales driven. And that's what's been huge working with RVA757 and the chambers. If we go and point to a metro and just go launch, it'll take us years to develop the relationships that we need to get the technology to be able to actually impact a large metro area. And that is the biggest challenge, that we can launch a facility, we can bring technology, we can refurbish, but if we don't have a steady every single day factory-like supply of computers, we're not going to have the impact that we need. And so we've gotten great introductions. But as I said, Daryl scheduling our truck still has plenty of openings in scheduling that truck. So it's still our biggest need locally is increasing the weight, increasing the number of computers coming in so we can increase the impact. And just like launching any business, that can take years. But again, the word of mouth and the introductions can help accelerate that.
And so the fundraising was also a big issue too, right?
Absolutely. Yep. So when we expand to a region, we have a sustainable model, but getting trucks, getting facilities, staffing up, building that book of business takes time. So being able to get the introductions to Meta and the others that I mentioned and be able to have that initial fund is huge to be able to build out our sustainable model.
So Kasha, I was on here from Versability, and she says that their organization stands ready to assist with employing people with disabilities to meet your workforce needs. Maybe you and or Kasha can talk about what's going on with that?
We're in the early stages of it. So I personally have a stepson on the autism spectrum, and it's part of my passion in building this out. Being a nonprofit, we want to have impact through each step in our model. And I've seen what my stepson can accomplish where maybe the school system or some other resources didn't. So we in Minnesota, 30% of our team is on the autism spectrum, and we work with 2 different autism training programs to be able to deliver that. And it's been tremendously successful for us, for the participants, and for the partner agencies. So what we're looking to do is ramp up again that incoming weight. And as soon as we have enough weight coming in, set up that partnership formally. We've had the initial discussions. We're ready to do it. I think they're ready to, but we just need to make sure we have the truck moving and enough weight coming in to be able to support it.
So let me ask Casey, when companies or nonprofits or businesses or whatever want to retire their old computers, you don't call them old computers, by the way. What do you call them? You call them, you don't use the word old.
I mean, IT recycling, but it's actually, one man's trash is another's treasure.
Right.
They are enterprise grade. So as far as distribution to the community, if a family was to go to a big box store and buy a computer versus what comes in from corporate recycling, they're higher quality, faster speed, and it's a really quality computer that ends up going into a home.
So what are the most common questions you get from businesses or companies or whatever, or concerns that they might have? What do you all hear? What are some of their barriers that they think about?
The first one is interesting, even though we've been doing this for a lot of years, is a lot of times people think of a nonprofit as I'm going to donate my stuff at Goodwill. And so we're talking with an IT asset manager that's concerned about their data security. So we have to first prove that we can responsibly handle that data security. And so we're certified by NAID, the National Association of Information Destruction. Some of our offices have an R2 certification, which is an environmental certification. And effectively what that means is we will provide back a report that says, here's the serial number of every device, the serial number of the hard drive, the result of the data wiping, and it's audited by a third party. So we know we have our staff properly trained in a secure facility providing that report. And from an environmental side, no matter what you give us, if it's an old office phone that sits on your desk, we have to know where that ends up getting broken down into its natural components. So a lot of our desk phones go to a hammer mill in Massachusetts. And that's where that hammer mill pounds out the circuit boards back into the gold, into the raw materials for reuse. And so we track that to make sure it doesn't go to a third world country or make sure it doesn't go to the bottom of the ocean, that we are responsibly recycling everything that we get.
So let's talk about, if someone wants to schedule a pickup or whatever, how do they go about doing it? Maybe Daryl might want to talk about a little bit about that.
You want to take it, Daryl?
Yeah, absolutely, Casey. Thank you, Greg. Like Casey said, you can go to our website, and it has an area where you can fill out a form, request for pickup, and it comes directly to me. And then I will reach out to that customer, talk a little bit about the logistics for pickup, what they have, or they can call me directly at 804-601-0017. My email, darylpowell@pcsforpeople.com. And usually I'll respond within 12 hours or even earlier than that. I like to get back to my customers so they have that. We appreciate the donations of any retired e-recycling material equipment. It is just a blessing to us to be able to use that to support the vision of the company, Casey's vision, which that's why I'm here. I just love what we do. So if they call our office directly at that number, 804-601-0017, I will definitely reach back out to them and send them a request for pickup form that lists what equipment, retired computer or e-equipment that you may want us to pick up. Sometimes they'll send us pictures so we can have our driver prepared for that pickup. The aforementioned Tony, what pallets, what Gaylord is that already palletized, stuff like that makes it easier. Where do we park our truck? Do you have a loading dock? Things of that nature makes this a little smoother. Our whole process, white glove, is seamless. So we try to get in, get out. We know that's not your day job dealing with e-equipment. That's not how you get paid. And we appreciate the donation. So we try to get in and get out with less hassle to you as possible.
So Daryl, maybe since you're talking, can you tell us a little bit how often I guess you do 3 runs a day to different businesses, but are you coming up to Richmond? Are you going down Hampton Roads? One day is Richmond, one day is Hampton Roads?
Well, good question, Greg. Typically, Right now, because we're just getting off the ground, where we will go wherever we are requested to be. We have a 4-hour range from Hampton Roads. We're in Hampton off of Pembroke. And so from Hampton Roads, James Madison University, if you're familiar with our Commonwealth, James Madison is in the northwest part of Virginia, which is the furthest from Hampton Roads. It's 3.5 hours. All right. So anywhere throughout the state going toward the I-81 corridor out there in Blacksburg, Virginia Tech, coming on down, Danville, Virginia, that whole area, we can pick up from everywhere. We even dabble in Northeast North Carolina. If it's 4 hours away, we can grab it. If it's a little bit over 4 hours, we're going to grab that too, Greg. Because like I said, we appreciate all everything that people do to donate to us. Like I said, it goes into the right back into the community. And since we just open our doors, if it would be a blessing if we go way out to get something and we can schedule a couple of other pickups along the way, we're going to do that. Okay. Sometime our truck may be full. We'll come back out the next day, but that's what that phone call is about. So we can schedule you in, see what's feasible, what's not. If I can't get you on that day, we're going to try to slide you into the next day. But being full and overloaded, that is a problem that we pray to have. Because you heard Casey talking about we need the weight. We don't have the weight. Just like any business, we're starting up and we're picking up new businesses. We're very happy. Regent University just came aboard, which is a major blessing. Virginia Union University. I don't want to drop no names, but we're just so happy that they are giving to us, as well as other businesses, small, large donations. We're reaching out to got 1-800 got junk. They pick it up, but they don't necessarily utilize it. They're looking for somewhere to get rid of it. Take us, please. So we're just so all out effort to outreach colleges, universities, just anybody that is willing to work with us in our community-based work here.
And we've been talking a lot about companies or businesses donating, but what about I've got an old computer. Can you all take that, and how does that work? Can a resident drop off their old electronics and computers, and how would that work?
Well, residents within reason, you might be too far to come to our location here in Hampton. So what I do is when someone calls, and then I got one on Monday, they said, look, I only have 2 or 3 computers, a tower, a couple of laptops. I'll schedule them in when I have another customer close by. And if we have a customer close by that we're going to have a pickup, I'll call them and say, hey, we're going to be in your area. And we'll go right by their house and pick it up because it's not that far out of the way. It's not cost effective to go pick them up, but we will be in your area because we have customers all over, and that's picking up more. And so more and more areas will be covered.
And Greg, too, as you said, people can drop by our retail location. So that's also the collection point. So that Google Maps that I had in my slide in Hampton, this former Save-A-Lot, people can stop by anytime we're open and drop off their old technology. So spring cleaning or not, we're open, we'll take it.
And Casey, while you got the stage, so to speak, or the podium, tell me, once the center opens November the 1st for the retail part of it, how will that work? And will you have a operation in Richmond? Will you have something or the Richmond area, or will you have something in Virginia Beach or Chesapeake, or what's the plan?
The plan right now is that centralized location and then work with partners. And I see in the chat a question from Deanne, who's with the Director of Economic and Empowerment and Family Resilience with the City of Hampton. And that could be an example that is used elsewhere, that in other regions where we're at, we partner with cities, we partner with counties, and as people come into the human services departments for their benefits, many of the people coming in don't have access to administer their benefits online. So when they ask, how do I do that? How do I get internet? How do I connect to my benefits? PCs for People has a stack of laptops or desktops in the county or city facility. So when people have that question, one of the computers are just handed out to the resident who needs it. And it's partnerships like that that are really efficient to meet residents where they're already going, where they're already expressing a need, to be able to get the technology to them.
Casey, thank you so much for sharing that. I just wanted to share, I had a chance previously to meet with one of your colleagues. I'm not sure if she's still there, Susan Miller, and I'm going to try to get on camera if it'll come off. And I did get a chance to see the space while it was a work in progress. I'm so glad to hear that it's getting ready to be up and running. And just a little bit about the department. It's a brand new department for the city of Hampton that's really focused on working and walking with people that are both the ALICE population and folks living in poverty, working with them towards that self-sufficiency, towards growing those community networks, changing that mindset from that impoverished mindset. And so we know that technology is a key part of that. And I'd love for you guys to come over, or for whomever happens to be at the Hampton office, to come over and see where we're located, because I think it would be an opportunity for us to be able to partner, to say that, hey, we've got an access, we've got a resource that's good, that would help to kind of work hand in hand with the computer lab that we have here, so that when people are have that opportunity to learn additional skills through our outreach and our specific target area focus, then they also have the opportunity to take these resources home, build upon it. We're helping with everything from those job skills to those soft skills, those resume preps, the connecting to the employment, but then also keeping it a step farther, so that people are, seeing, we're planting that seed of home ownership. We're planting that seed of economic stability. We're planting that seed of what does it look like to start saving, for retirement, or what does retirement even look like? And so really meeting people where they are. And so I think this would be an excellent opportunity. And we work very closely with Human Services as well through some of their programs.
In the Twin Cities, where I'm sitting here now, it took us 8 years, and we did a data study. We had impacted half of the eligible households across the Twin Cities metro in 8 years. And partnerships like you're talking about, and I see United Way as well, just like the business community. If the business community comes together on supply, if the government and nonprofits and United Way come together on the distribution, that 8 years to impact an entire metro can really be condensed. And that's the scale and impact that we want to have.
Absolutely. I've also reached out to our IT department here with the city, just to see who do we currently use for any sort of recycling needs, and potential, that could be a potential connection for you all as well.
Thank you. That's great.
Absolutely.
Thank you for Deanna. I was with Mary Hunting over the weekend, or last week, and so we were talking about this particular program. So, and one thing that RVA757 Connects does, we try to bring the power of convening and connecting and collaborating together. So this is a great opportunity to do that, particularly with United Way of Hampton Roads and some other entities up in Richmond. And that's why these volunteers and partnerships are so very important. Correct, Casey? I mean, for you guys, well, what if you do take volunteers?
We absolutely do. So when we work with companies, the pitch is time, treasure, and tech. So if you have technology to donate, great. If you want to volunteer, come by, one-off individual or an entire group where you're doing a community impact day or a team building day, we'll take groups at a time. And then if someone wanted to sponsor something, and we do get calls from businesses that say there's a school down the street, I want to make sure every kid has a computer in it. So sometimes companies will call us and they'll sponsor projects like that. We also work, and I see a question from Casey Roberts at Versability, if we offer apprenticeships, internships, on-the-job training, and another partnership both with nonprofits as well as local counties is a training and workforce development site. We have worked with numerous different counties to do 90-day on-the-job training programs where we're providing the skills of how to come to work, how to dress, how to call in if you need to, and then actually how to build your technology skills on the job. And we've done that both with counties and workforce development programs, but also in disability training programs to be a job placement and training site. And we've gotten awards for placement rates after that we had 85% job placement rates for the people who came through our program in other meaningful jobs in the community. So we both hire people that come through those programs as well as help provide the opportunity for placement in full-time jobs elsewhere.
Well, good. Are there any other questions from anyone in the audience?
Yeah, Greg, this is Tom Chamberlain. Casey, it's good to see you. And Daryl, it's good to see you. I got a call from Sierra today wanting to catch up on rewards for healthy people. I was a little late. I was on 2 Zooms at the same time. I don't know if you talked about that or not, but we're going to be touching base. Casey, would you like to give an update on that?
Yeah, I mentioned your name earlier. Partnering with Tom and George and putting the rewards for healthy living on the computers that are distributed. So with the gamification for RVA 757 residents to be able to use the Healthy Rewards platform will be going on the desktop of each computer we distribute locally.
Awesome. Yeah, I missed that. Sorry about that. I thought I heard that name when in the background when I was on both calls. So thank you. We're looking forward to it.
Greg, is it all right if I jump in just for a sec, please? I wanted to just clear up one thing that Casey had said earlier about the retail. The retail part of the business will be open or will be launched on November 1st. That's the area where people can actually walk into our storefront and see what computers we have there, the low income, to take them. But the operation, as far as picking up, processing and all, that's full steam ahead right now. 100, we're rolling with that. So we have various areas within the company, surplus, retail, blah, blah, blah. And that part of walking directly into our storefront on Pembroke Avenue right there, that's what's going to be launched by November 1st. The rest of it, the pickups, the processing, everything, we are 100% would love to get with Deanna Valentine there and the reference that she spoke about and the organization that she's talking about being at where they help people. I will be there. If you send me an invitation or something, Deanna, would love to attend. Thank you.
And Deanna's asking if you all can provide contact information for the Hampton Roads point of contact. So I guess that would be you, Daryl.
Yeah.
We give that information again.
Yeah.
Or if you could just drop it in the chat, Daryl, that would be great. They're perfect. I see
There we
Casey
go.
put it in there.
Casey's
Thank
that
you so
up. That's
much.
good. Thanks.
I'm on it.
Thank you.
Hey, are there any other questions? This has been very good and very helpful and stuff. I think good information that's being given out and stuff. That's great. Well, let me just continue real briefly here and to let you know what's coming up next. Again, if you need to learn more about RVA757 Connects, you want to learn about our various initiatives, go to our website, and you also could go up there to sign up for Convergence or get more information about Convergence. And as I mentioned, again, this webinar is being recorded, and so it will be available on our website in about an hour after the webinar is over with. So you'll get a link to it. I'll send out a link in your email, but please pass that along to the people that you know so that they can know a little bit more about PCs for People and help spread the word. And then if you have any, we've had recordings of our webinars going back to 2022. So if you have any topic, we probably have covered it. Take a look, and the recordings are all right there. Remember, next month on Wednesday, November 5th, our next webinar will be on how hosting the Startup World Cup showcase innovation here in Hampton Roads, and so that will be a very fascinating topic to delve into. And that will be on our website. Registration will be available about mid-month of October. Again, thank you to our 2 speakers, Casey and Daryl. We appreciate you all taking the time out of your busy schedules to talk to us about PCs for People. And also, again, Kelly, thank you very much for Meta and Meta support, not only to RVA757 Connects, but also to PCs for People. And finally, thank you to every one of you for attending today. We really appreciate you being able to participate today. And thank you, and we're excited to have you all working together with PCs for People. Have a great afternoon, and we'll be in touch. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.